quick view of the backyard. These first 3 rows here, last year did really well with corn and beans. This year not as well. Partly was like when they were attacked early on, had to replant. I've got sunflowers, which are doing actually really well. I've got these are blue Hubbard gourds. I've got blue lake bush beans, and I don't remember which sweet corn. But it's the same sweet corn did really well last year. So I have 3 beds. These are the ones I set up last year, and I redid them this year. They're raised beds. Well, not raised beds, they're mounded rows actually. And then I have weed cloth between them. So when I pull weeds, I just throw them on the cloth. Some of them makes like that little guy right there. We'll seed, but I'll just pull that up. Or not seed, but grow, but I'll just pull them up. And then I have, this isn't really a raised bed, it's just off to the side. I've got 6 artichokes in this row. The first 3 are new from this year. The last 3 down there survived over winter. I didn't even mulch them or anything, they did okay. And then I've got in the cardboard here, you're trying to keep the weeds down and keep the moisture in, are some artichokes that I started from seed this year. So then the next bed I built, I'm going to skip over this one. This was the first hugelkultur bed that I did, and I covered it with red clover. The clover got ahead of some of the other stuff, but again, I've got, these are pumpkins, the blue lake beans, and corn. But again, I got some of my stuff got attacked. You can see some of the corn down there is starting to come up. Not as much down here. That's where the attacks were. But the clover that was my first experiment with clover as basically a living mulch. It's done well, kept most of the weeds down. I have some morning glories that sneak up through there. Those are the bane of my existence in this yard. So after that one was done, this is the next one I built. This one I built wider and deeper. And so what I'm doing on this one, I'm doing the corn and beans thing here as well, with white clover around it. And then you got a local tomato plant from the local nursery. It's kind of late, so it's just no fruit, but it's just starting to flower now. Got a couple bean plants that I bought. The rest of this is from seed. Down this end, I wanted to put sweet alyssum in the middle. You can see the little white flowers coming out. This was an experiment, again, to use it as a living mulch and also to attract pollinators. And then I have a black kale down the middle. And then I did seed tape, which actually is a lot easier. I think it's worthwhile. I don't do well with carrots, but I'm trying that again. And you can see some of the, especially, in this area, you don't really see any weeds, except for the kale. I know Joe called it the devil's weed, but over here I've got a lot of these morning glory little sprouts coming up, so I keep weeding that. Oh, and speaking of weed, the cannabis plant someone gave me stinks up the whole area. Doing really well. Again, I used 2x4s to kind of flatten the top of this bed, give me a wider planting surface, and the rest of it's just like a regular mound that goes down. But after everything started here, I didn't seed the clover as early on this one. I wanted to give the plants a chance to go before I did that. So this is let's see, this one was May 16th-ish. This one was like June 4th. The pumpkins are doing really well here. They're starting to really come out. You can see all the cardboard that I'm using as a mulch, which is good. Along the fence here too, I have like my 3rd try of doing cucumbers back here, so they kept eating them, but they're coming up now. And then I have some beans over there along the fence. This was the last bed that I built. It was really too late to do much of a planting in here. I put some beans in there, but something got them. And a few more little cannabis plants. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, so if anybody's interested, that's fine. And you can see I've got a damn vine right there. But this is a bunch of sunflowers through here. And then I went and I planted, again, I seeded clover over that just maybe 5 days ago or so. The red clover I'm finding takes about 3 days to sprout, thereabouts. The alyssum actually was a little bit less. And I have a couple little pepper plants in here, and some leftover onions that I had. So this is a pretty big, six and a half by 8 feet. This is, this next year, this will be something serious. For this year, I was just trying to get it established. And then over here I have some more bean plants around the edges of this memorial pergola. And then I had just some space, so I put some kind of squash, leek tomato I put in, another squash or pumpkin or something, and then some more beans there. And this is the bunny garden here. I barely did any prep. I didn't fertilize it. There's extra seeds in the ground. It's actually doing really well. So I've got different types of lettuce, loose leaf. I think I've got a romaine there. I've got bush beans in the middle. I'm not even sure. I didn't remember. Maybe these are pumpkins or something. I just see somewhere a ladybug. I just saw a ladybug. I was going to point out. Yeah, some again. How can you miss a red ladybug in the green here? Anyway, we've got lots of ladybugs around. They're all the Asian ladybugs, so. Well, I have a couple of 14-spotted ladybugs. So, that's cool to see them back here because all the ones, here it is. I'm not sure what this one is. I don't think it's an Asian one. I'll check it with the sea cap in a minute. But anyway, that's the stuff I have going. They're going back here so far. My little bunny sign. He doesn't seem interested though. He stays either in Dave's yard all the time or he comes up front. And there's another one of those morning glory vines. Oh, look at this thing. I'm going to get the sea cap and see what the heck that is. Yeah, somebody probably knows. I'll know shortly.